My work computer just like became awake just from the clap.
It's like, would you like to talk to some clients today? Would you like to schedule a surgery?
No, I shan't. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to say my workplace on the podcast. Bleep that.
It will be bleeped.
We're back.
Back and bonier than ever.
In olden days, a glimpse of femur was only for morbid dreamers, but you're not alone. Bring anything bones. Two goofy gals with deathly interest go on a skeleton inquest in your headphones. Anything bones.
Hello and welcome to Anything Bones. My name is Sophie Updates Schwartz.
And I am Katelyn, talking about a sick bastard heart. And this is the podcast where we talk about bones and bone-related topics. And we check in because we haven't recorded in a long time and some things have changed.
Absolutely. Did I speak about the fact that I am now engaged?
No, you were not engaged the last time we recorded.
But you knew it was going to happen.
Yes, we were talking about how your friend Odie was going to come down for Halloween. Spoiler alert, he came down for the proposal, which was wonderful.
Yes, Boneheads, I was gifted a beautiful Halloween proposal by the love of my life in collaboration with like all of my closest friends, which was meant the fucking world to me that he like went and spoke with all of my important people. And I thought Katelyn was not going to be there because Katelyn had other plans, but she was hiding.
Secrets, just a good secret.
Yes, and there's a video that maybe we'll post on the Instagram of me seeing Katelyn and realizing that she was there and going, oh my God, you're here.
I got the first hug after the proposal and it was wonderful.
Yeah, it was just incredibly special. I was so surprised. I had no idea that it was happening. No clue. And of course, I'm always wrapped up in my own anxieties that I was just like focusing on trying to get our costumes together and trying to get us out the door on time. And Joe was trying to keep me calm and keep me like, he's like, we can get there whenever. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, it's a party. You know, we'll just show up when we show up. And I was just like, where's your suit jacket? Like, we got to get the makeup on. Like,
tell the listeners what you were dressed as when this all occurred.
We were dressed as Beetlejuice and his ex-wife from the second Beetlejuice. And honestly, getting engaged in Halloween costumes is so perfect for us. And it was fun because like once we put on our costumes and everything, I was like, damn, I'm actually really proud of this. I hope we get some photos tonight.
That was not a problem at all.
No, exactly. When we got to my friend Jackie's house, there was like a photographer who was a friend of Jackie's that was like taking pictures. And I was like, I was told that this was just a Halloween party. So I was like, oh, like that's really nice that they have like their photographer friend like brought a camera to take pictures of all the Halloween costumes. And she was taking a lot of pictures of us. And I was like, okay, like, you know, haha, like, you know, that's enough pictures. And Joe was like, wait, don't sit down yet.
And I was in the kitchen hiding behind a wall waiting to come out until I started hearing the chatters.
Yeah, what was it like right before?
What was it like right before? I think me and the photographer's brother were just like kind of like smiling at each other, like, I didn't want, so because like Sophie said, I had other plans, so I didn't want to give away that anything was, you know, strange or different before, you know, Joe had his moment to propose. So I wanted to wait until, you know, Sophie kind of knew what was happening before I came out and just snapped so many photos of my own.
It was so perfect and so special because kind of for the first hour of the Halloween party was just kind of like our engagement party. And it was just, very sweet, very meaningful. And like, it just hats off to the secret cohort Katelyn, Jackie, Odie, and of course the ringleader Joe, the literal ring leader.
Literally. Yeah, it was a great night.
It was, but there are some hefty developments in your life as well.
Yeah, I finished my schooling. I am now a certified medical coder.
Woohoo!
Technically, the title is certified professional coder, but I feel like that sounds weird. And I am on the hunt for a new job.
On the hunt for a beautiful new job where you can work from home with your coworker being your cat.
Yeah, and just make my own schedule, do whatever. So that's the vibe. Gonna try and stick within the hospital system I already work in. So put some feelers out. I'm just waiting to hear back.
So if you need to crack any professional codes,
I'm your girl.
Yeah, what you do is all heist related, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of code breaking, actually.
You're there on the computer just whispering into your headset, I'm in.
Yeah.
You're having knee surgery.
Yeah. Well, you also, you have a new family member since we recorded, too.
Yes. My brother and his lovely wife welcomed into the world beautiful baby Sydney Ray Schwartz.
Oh, my God.
She is beautiful and perfect. And it's so wonderful on this podcast to get to talk about birth rather than death.
Yes.
You know, how joyous it is to like see a new human come into the world with her tiny little hands and her tiny little nose. The only time I've seen her right now, she had her little eyes closed. She was so sleepy.
Yeah. Was it the day that she came out?
Yeah. Like an hour later.
Big day. That's a big day.
Yeah. She was tired. Kelsey was still a little looped out.
Yeah.
Matt was just like riding on the high of becoming a new father. And he was just like holding the baby. And it was the sweetest thing in the world because he just like looked at me and was like, I work for her now.
Oh.
And it's just very sweet.
Yeah. Being an aunt or an uncle really is top tier.
Yeah, it's so special. I didn't realize how emotional it was going to make me. Like when I first saw her and saw them like with her, I was like, wow, this is like, it's so beautiful and like, yeah, indescribable. Hard to find the words.
Yeah. We love babies. We just don't have any of our own at the moment and probably never.
Yeah, but like, you know, it is kind of funny when like, you know, I am not the biggest baby person by far, but when you see a baby that someone related to you made, there's some little like hormonal switch in your brain that's like, protect the child.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have 6 nieces and nephews, so I definitely get that feeling. I also, my first like very close friend had a baby in the last year, and being around to like hang out with him and watch him grow up is the greatest ever. You know, I count seeing one of my friends from high school who is still a friend today, like as kind of in the same vein as like my nieces and nephews.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, we do this crew of my high school friends and we always do either just a hang or a trip the day after Christmas. We call it our Boxing Day trip, even though we're not Canadian, obviously. I think Boxing Day is a Canadian holiday.
I thought it was a British thing.
I have no fucking idea. Let me look it up.
Quick Boxing Day fact.
Quick. It originated in the United Kingdom.
Hey.
So you were right.
Brits.
You got it. But yeah, it started as like a hang that we would do, you know, because we were all home for winter break. And then we just kind of kept the tradition alive. And this will be the first year with a baby.
Oh, my God.
And it's going to be great.
But yeah, that's the beauty of life changing. Things can never stay the same. And sometimes they get better.
Yeah, exactly. I have no segue into my story today. It is so sad and tragic.
Yeah, so I think we
let's
have to.
Let's just do it.
Get into it. Yeah.
So if if you clicked on this episode, you probably know that I'm going to be telling you about the unfortunate case of Emmanuel Haro, which happened literally this year, like a few months ago. Massive trigger warning for child death, because that might not be something that you want to hear about. So this might not be the episode for you. This case, like, I don't know, it shocked me. It was pretty incredible to me how quickly the community was just like, something is not right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just like everybody's bullshit detector was on high.
Yeah, absolutely. This case definitely went viral online because of these red flags that people were seeing from this case. But Caitlin, please take us into it.
Yeah. My sources for today are USA Today, an article from KTLA, LA Times, ABC twice, and then a article from the Riverdale County District Attorney's Office. So our story starts on August 14th, 2025, around 7:47 p.m. 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro was reported missing by his mother, Rebecca Haro, who reported being attacked outside of a Big Five on Yucaipa Boulevard in San Bernardino. So Rebecca told police that she was outside in the parking lot and she was right by her vehicle and she needed to change Emmanuel's diaper. And she claims that she was physically assaulted by an unknown male and rendered unconscious. So she allegedly, when she woke up, her baby was gone. And then she like ran into the Big Five and was like, has anybody seen a baby? And they're like, no. And then like police are called and, the story goes on. So once police were there, they got scent tracking dogs right away, like the same night that this happened, but they could not find Emmanuel. Again, 7-month-old baby. In their initial statement, the sheriff's department said, quote, he was last seen wearing a black Nike onesie. He weighs 21 pounds, is approximately 24 inches tall, has brown hair, brown eyes, and is cross-eyed.
The sweet child.
Yeah, so immediately, the story was just everywhere, and people were very interested the very next day because the parents gave a interview on the local news.
Mm-hmm.
This, like, literally, this happens. He's quote unquote taken on August 14th, and then the interview is on the 15th when everybody gets very, very suspicious of these parents. Apparently, the sheriff's department was suspicious of the parents from the beginning, but, the story, because the parents went on the news, the story was put out there and people were hyper aware of their behaviors and clocked that something wasn't right.
And didn't she say that when the person came up to her to attack her, they simply said, "Hola"?
Yes. So I have some quotes from news piece. Okay. So she said, this is Rebecca, the mom says, and she's on camera. She's like gasping for air. She's like trying her damnedest to be very upset. And she did have a black eye at this point. She said, I got him out of the car seat and I laid him down so I could get his diapers ready. And someone said, "Hola," and that's all I remember. And I saw white. I fell on the floor.
Ugh,
we're in a parking
floor.
lot. And as soon as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around my truck and I ran into Big Five and I asked the lady if she saw a baby or someone with a baby. She said no. And then she kind of like, at this point, she either says he is or he was. It's kind of hard to tell by the audio. He is or was a happy boy. He smiled. Mackenzie loved to kiss him.
So yeah, just from that quote alone, there are so many red flags that I think people caught from that.
Yeah, there's just a tiny bit more. She said, I didn't see nothing. Nobody saw nothing. There's no cameras here. There's no lighting. And they should have something.
Okay, interesting.
So people immediately were like, there's no cameras. There's no lighting. How does she know that? Like, I can understand you like, there's no lighting in the parking lot. Like usually,
sure, but it was the daytime, right?
It was the evening. The call came in at 7:47 p.m.
Okay, but this is also the summertime.
Yeah. So it would have still been light out most likely. I didn't look up when sunset was, but usually it's later than 7:47, I think, in the summertime.
Yeah.
So on this same interview, the father, Jake Haro, is also seen on camera. In some clips, he's holding their other child. He definitively says, quote, he was a healthy baby. He was crawling. He was kicking, and he was playing with his toys. Whoever took our son, please give him back. He was.
Yeah, and that he has to reiterate all those that he was doing all those completely normal baby behaviors.
Yeah, one day after he's been, quote unquote, taken. People clocked immediately that their body language didn't seem right. Their language didn't make sense. Like we were saying, why does the mom know that there are no cameras?
Yeah.
I mean, why is that fact coming out? Like, it's almost like they chose a place to go and have this happen where there were no cameras.
Because it's only been a day. Like, you know, did they go back and check to see if there were no cameras? Like, it's just... Yeah, it's a very odd thing to say.
And like maybe police at that point are like, yeah, we don't have any footage. Like, so, you know, but why are you bringing that up in your interview when what this is supposed to be about is, you know, reaching out to the public, humanizing Emmanuel, humanizing this story and being like, we just want our kid back. But people were not buying it like from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, yeah, I mean, I find them very suspicious. I think especially saying he was about your son that's been gone for a day, like that didn't seem right. But I was like, God, if people are just reading into this and like we say all the time, like we don't know exactly how grief is going to look. And like that would be super traumatic to have your child taken. So it's like, I just remember thinking like, God, if people are wrong, this is so fucked up.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing that's like... was so tricky, but also I think drew a lot of people into this case. Body language is not an exact science, you know.
Right.
It's a little bit of a pseudoscience because it can't be proven as much as other factors we would consider in a case. But there were so many things that raised people's cackles about this. Are you going to talk more about the black eye?
Not really. You could feel free.
A lot of people were pointing out that the black eye that she had in this video from the day after was in the healing stages that a black eye might have weeks past versus a day past. So people were wondering what connection that black eye had with the incident and if it was from the incident or from something else. But that was another thing that, especially with some medical professionals, raised some eyebrows.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Like she's claiming that she got like knocked out from behind.
Yeah.
And yet and this was all that was visible in the interview.
In a brief interview, yeah.
In a brief interview, but all you could see was a bruise under one of her eyes. And I think if you were knocked unconscious and you fell face first, like into a parking lot. Yeah. I think as people said at the time, and like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't look right for what was described.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, to touch on the fact that this woman in this case is a white woman and she kind of only describes the assailant through addressing her with hola, which is hello in Spanish. And why would your attacker greet you before they knocked you out?
They wouldn't. That wouldn't make sense. If you're going to knock someone out from behind, why would you want them to know you're coming? It does. Yeah. And then another thing that was really strange. So the story was they were at like a practice or a game for one of the other kids. And mom needed to go over to the Big Five to get a mouth guard. Mm-hmm. First off, why are you getting the mouth guard like in the middle of the game? But second off, big department stores like that have bathrooms, and almost all like bathrooms have a changing table in them.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't your first instinct be to go into the store that you have to go into anyway?
Yeah.
Take your baby into the bathroom, change their diaper, and then like do what you need to do and leave. Why are you changing the diaper in the dark parking lot where you say there's no lights, no cameras, when you're right next to like safety, a clean, like, you know,
and
whatever.
You have to go into the store anyway to purchase the mouth guard.
Yeah. So like,
so it's
why
not going out of your way to go into the store.
exactly? And I don't think I ever saw anything like this place didn't have a bathroom or something, but like she didn't come into the store until after Emmanuel was quote unquote taken. So if she had gone in with him and like, oh, there's no bathroom, like people would have probably seen that. Like, oh, I can't change him in here. I'm going to have to change him in the parking lot. Like, and like we said a little bit ago, we're not parents, but like it doesn't make sense in my mind when you could do all of this inside. You're right next to a garbage can. You can throw the diaper away, like, and then go shopping, do your business. Like, it doesn't make sense.
No, it absolutely doesn't.
So 2 days later, on August 16th, officials told the public that they had interviewed multiple individuals about the disappearance, including both parents. And during those interviews, quote, Rebecca was confronted with inconsistencies in her initial statement and declined to continue with the interview. So this is 2 days after this happened.
This is so fast.
Yeah, like police didn't believe this, it sounds like, for even a minute. Like they were doing everything they could to find him.
Yeah.
We're on August 18th now, and they were searching in Yucaipa and Cabazon, looking for him, looking for any evidence that might lead to where he is. At this point, they're not saying that it's a murder, but, everybody's not like hope is very low at this point that he will be found alive.
Yeah, especially with children, the first 48 hours are kind of the most crucial time and the most statistically likely that you'll get back the missing person, and a child especially.
Yeah. Around this time, 18th or 19th, the police served several search warrants at the Haro home. They review surveillance footage, probably from like Ring cameras in the area. So this is, again, fueling online, like armchair detectives, whatever you want to call them. People are like, well, if they're being served these warrants like over and over, like there must be something wrong. Jake Haro's attorney, Vincent Hughes, provided a statement saying both parents, quote, seek answers about their missing child and that the father is fully cooperating with law enforcement and investigators.
I mean,
can you feel my eyes?
Yeah.
Can you feel my eyes rolling?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, bare minimum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, why wouldn't you be cooperating with law enforcement if your child was missing? What?
I would be on law enforcement's ass. I would live in that police station.
Exactly.
I'd be like, anything else you want to tell me? Here's my phone. Here's my laptop. Here's my everything. Follow me all day, please.
Anything you want. Just like, you have to stop. Just start looking outside of the family or, whatever. Like, clear me and then find him. Like, whatever it takes.
The faster they clear you, the quicker that they can move on to other subjects.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So not even, like, just barely over a week later, Jake and Rebecca Haro are arrested at their home in Cabazon.
Jesus.
For murder and filing a false report.
Wow. For murder already.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The sheriff's department said after the arrest, quote, based on the evidence, investigators determined a kidnapping in Yucaipa did not occur. It is believed Emmanuel is deceased and the search to recover his remains is ongoing.
It's heartbreaking.
Isn't that terrible? And they still, to this day, have never found him. How fucked up is that?
It's so horrible. It's so sinister. This baby just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah. And I remember around this time seeing like news footage of the dad like in handcuffs, like out there with police, like searching.
It's like, how could you not know?
Yeah. So on August 26th, they appeared in court. They were charged with murder, making a false police report. It took less than 5 minutes, and they were both assigned a $1 million bail, like each.
Damn.
During a press conference on August 27th, the Riverside County District Attorney's Office said that they believe the child was severely abused over a period of time and that both parents would have had to be aware of that abuse. Like, it wouldn't have been just like something that the dad could do without the mom knowing, is what they thought. The district attorney continues, quote, "The filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Emmanuel was abused over time and that eventually because of that abuse, he succumbed to those injuries." So this is Riverside County District Attorney Michael Hestrin, who said that Jake Haro, the dad, is an, quote, "experienced child abuser who should have gone to prison due to previously abusing a 10-week-old daughter he had with his ex-wife back in 2018. But a judge at the time granted him probation, an outrageous error in judgment."
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So that was something else that was uncovered around this time, that Jake Haro had been in this situation before. He was actually on probation because he had abused his 10-week-old daughter, and he was given probation for it rather than any amount of jail time.
That's heinous. That judge is out of his fucking mind.
And that other daughter that he abused in 2018 it says, authorities said the child in that case has been left bedridden. Like, she has permanent damage because of his actions.
Ugh.
The district attorney ends with, quote, "If that judge had done his job as he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today." Which,
yeah,
it might be a hot take. I think that's spot on.
Yes, because if he was still on probation, he would ostensibly have still been in jail and would not have been able to hurt this child.
Or if there had been like severe consequences, maybe he, I mean, people that hurt little defenseless children are sick in the head. Like, that's like the worst thing I can think of.
Yeah. It is certainly up there. I think this case, another reason that a lot of people began to pay attention to it is that, yeah, it is one of the most horrific things you can think to do. The type of person he is should not be a parent.
No, of multiple children.
Yes.
And and you're just so pathetic that you pick on babies. Like, what kind of sick fucking asshole are you? Like, I don't know. And I feel a little bit more sympathy towards Rebecca because I think that in all likelihood she was abused as well. But whatever happened in that house, Emmanuel is dead.
Yeah. And as the parent, she has to be responsible for that.
She does have to take some accountability for the situation that he was being raised in.
Yes, because I think we can have sympathy and empathy for the fact that she was in a situation where she could not defend her child, but it was still her job to defend her child and to keep him safe.
Yeah. And she went along with Jake's story and gave this interview to the cops and they wasted all of these police resources when there was no missing kid. He was already gone. And this was just a huge scam, essentially. Like, they wanted to hide what they had done or what Jake had done. And so in the year 2025, they thought they could outsmart the police, and just, they thought they were smarter than everybody else.
And that they could go in public and make these claims and that people would not see through this.
Yeah, immediately people saw through this.
Yeah, but the mother is the sticking point for me because it's just so, I can see both sides of it. I can see being so controlled by a man, by an abuser of, any gender, that you feel like you can't save your child. But also, when you become a parent, you sign up to protect that child for the rest of their life. And that was not done.
Yeah. I think maybe over time more details will come out, but who knows? So on September 4th, both Jake and Rebecca appeared in court and pled not guilty to the murder charges against them. And then on October 16th, 2025, Jake Haro changed his plea from not guilty to guilty.
Okay, he's doing the bare minimum.
Yeah, literally. The only decent thing you could do in this situation and you're doing it. Wow, good for you.
To take any sort of accountability for it. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you. You killed your son. And then after like 2 months, you're finally going to admit, like, yeah, I did this. After wasting God knows how many resources, after lying to people, lying to the police, like trying to cover your tracks.
And there are always other missing children. They're the like that.
Yes.
That's what we mean by wasting resources, is that, like, you know, we could give a shit about the police themselves, but we need,
of course,
the resources to be there to look for children who are actually missing.
Yes. And they should be focusing on actual crimes rather than fake crimes that parents are using to try and get away with murder. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And the hubris that these people in, you know, our age of technology and forensic science that we have could pass this off.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that criminals are often dumb. It's the smart criminals that we really have to worry about. But
yeah,
I mean,
the ones we don't know about.
Yeah, but like, yeah. So the judge in the case, Judge Gary Polk, said, quote, to Jake, quote, Mr. Haro, the man who was supposed to protect these defenseless children, the sentence here is the most that the court can do to ensure that as much justice is done as possible. The judge sentenced him to more than 30 years in state prison for the murder, falsely reporting the kidnapping. And then he also got an extra 6 years and 8 months for violating probation in that previous case.
Yeah, stack it on.
Yeah, so he has to serve all the time for the previous case, and then his 25-year to life sentence begins.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
yes,
he's not getting out.
He needed to serve for that other fucking crime.
Yeah, the last judge put him on probation, even though he rendered his 10-week-old daughter bedridden for the rest of her life.
Yeah, doesn't she have permanent brain damage?
Yeah. So, yeah. They threw away the key, and I think that is the only appropriate response to all of this.
What happened to the mother?
So she is maintaining her not guilty plea, and she has not gone to court for these charges yet. So that's scheduled in January of next year, so next month.
Well, you'll have to update us on that.
I'm going to keep an eye on this because, yeah, I mean, when somebody pleads guilty, you don't get as many like details of the crime that come out during a trial, which is like not why we, you know, this is tragic no matter what, but like it doesn't really matter why, like, because it doesn't make sense and it's not going to bring him back. But it's just like, how did we get here? Yeah. And are there any lessons we can learn to try and prevent this in the future?
Yeah, because that's all that you can hope for from these details. Like, and to hope to not get horrible nightmares. Yeah,
it's that poor baby. Rest in peace. Like I said, they still have never found his body to this day.
And, you know, from the pictures that I have seen of baby Emmanuel, he was an adorable, bright little boy. Little chubby cheeks.
Yeah. Couldn't have possibly done anything to deserve whatever likely sustained abuse that he endured in his short life.
And I mean, yeah, there's no amount of prison time that can even begin to make up for the loss of this little boy.
Yeah. I wanted to end with something that this case kind of brought up just in the legal system. This was brought up in one of the KTLA articles that was out or like published before the guilty plea. And so a legal analyst named Allison Trisell, I think that's how you say it, was asked, how can prosecutors bring a murder case without a body?
Yes, this is a classic legal question.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd tell you guys what she said because I think it's interesting, relevant to our podcast.
Hell yeah.
So she said, quote, prosecutors do not need a body to proceed with a murder case. Corpus delicti rule, the Latin phrase that means body of the crime. In modern practice, corpus delicti requires that the government have enough evidence showing that the essential parts of a crime occurred before they can even charge an individual. The corpus delicti rule just requires that enough evidence is found, not that the body has to be found to charge someone with murder. Known cases where a defendant was actually convicted of murder without a body being found include People versus Charles Manson for the murder of Donald Shorty Shea. The case proves that evidence that one committed a murder is sufficient for conviction even without a dead body.
Thank you so much for clarifying that for us. And I did not know, the letter of that law myself. Yeah, if you think no body, no crime, you're wrong.
You are very wrong because, whatever they were able to find, there was probably Ring camera footage. Like they have successfully convicted this man of murder. He did plead guilty in the end, but
I think that goes to show that he knew that they had enough to convict him.
Exactly. He knew that they had enough evidence that if it went to trial, it was going to be the same outcome. And yeah, I mean, I think some people will want more than that, like maybe think that he doesn't deserve to live. But as we've heard, child murderers are not treated very well in prison.
Oh, yeah. And especially for a case this prominent, like, the people in prison are not in a vacuum. They hear what happens.
Yes.
So I think that he will be in a living hell for as long as he is locked up. Yeah.
I hope that baby haunts the shit out of him because
he will in the form of other big burly men.
Yeah. That I didn't hear about this specifically in this case, but Brian Kohlberger, the Idaho murderer.
Oh, yes.
I heard that when he was convicted, like people in that cell block that he's in were like waiting for him and they just like were screaming. Like the inmates like worked together to make sure that there was just
shifts.
Constant like screaming and harassment, like
shouting personal things about him through the fucking vents.
Exactly.
So that he could not sleep or have a single moment of peace.
Which we love. We love it.
I mean, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yeah. I mean, I never thought, I obviously these are also like violent criminals.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Condone
I don't know how far on their side I am.
Yeah. But
on this, hell yeah.
It's separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Thank you so much for educating us on that case. I remember when it was happening, we had a lot of discussion about it. And we wanted to know what the truth was behind these red flag interviews.
I've been wanting to cover this case for a while, and it just like I kept wanting to wait to see if there was going to be a resolution. I was hoping that they would find him before we covered it. But yeah, the father admitting what he did finally, it felt like it was a good time to tell the story. Yeah.
And if you're looking into this case yourself, listener, beware of misinformation because there is a lot floating around out there about this case. Like, be sure that you're looking at legitimate sources because I saw a lot of TikToks that were proclaiming different things about this case that were not true.
Yeah.
What was one? Oh, yeah. I remember one morning when this was like really in the news, someone had reported that they had found the child alive. And I went through this whole roller coaster of emotions, be like, oh my God, wow, that's amazing. And then I, looked further into it. It's like, no, that's completely wrong.
Yeah, that's, I mean, maybe people think they're helping or something, but you don't know if that's legit. So read credible sources for yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
question everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can say this confidently with every single case. Like, always be responsible with your consumption of this type of stuff. Take care of yourself.
Exactly. This is about real people.
Yes.
And like these cases don't, I think you said earlier, these cases don't happen in a vacuum. Like this is stories about real people or real, family members. And it might just be like a story to us, but to one family, it's reality.
Yeah.
And spreading misinformation it's gross. If it's on purpose, or if it's just done carelessly, it's gross.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we always try here to be as responsible as we can with our research and with the cases we choose to present. Yeah. So thank you, Katelyn, for your thoughtful research.
Absolutely.
And, in these coming weeks, we'll be back to you with another episode soon, hopefully. And be sure to take care of yourself. Take time to rest your bones. Take time for yourself and
be happy, do your thing. And be nice to people who deserve it. And, as always, bon voyage.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Anything Bones. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Anything Bones Podcast, or email us at anythingbonespodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you to Nick Kruger for our spooky music and Stephen Vetteroff
At Chubby Scrubby on Twitter.
for our jazzy vocals, and thank you to Camilla Franklin
At Camilla Strader on Instagram.
for our beautiful bony artwork. Please rate, review, and subscribe.
Happy holidays. Woo!
Happy spooky holiday.